Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jimmy Loyce, and I'm the Executive Director of AIDS Project Los Angeles. Thank you. On behalf of our staff, volunteers, and especially the 4,400 clients of AIDS Project Los Angeles, we'd like to welcome you to Commitment to Life number 8. You are in for a great show this evening, and I want you to enjoy it. But I also want you to remember what brings you here tonight. What brings you here is collaboration. Collaboration is a buzzword of the 90s. It's the word that we use in the fight against AIDS. Tonight, when we think of collaboration, we're talking about you being here with us as collaborators by your very presence. Your ticket purchases and the money that you put into AIDS Project tonight is in the sense of collaboration. What we'd like to do, though, is help you understand that these dollars are the dollars that improve the quality of life for people living with AIDS in Los Angeles and prevent the further spread of HIV. One of our roles as the largest AIDS organization in Los Angeles is to maximize available resources, providing technical and financial assistance to programs and fundraising to smaller but no less important AIDS organizations. AIDS Project Los Angeles has collaborated in this way with over 71 organizations in Los Angeles County. Together, we have a responsibility to structure and provide services that are efficient, convenient, and fully cognizant of the response to the real needs of all people impacted by AIDS. I am pleased to report that this process is well underway. Our bottom line must always be what's best for people living with HIV. Leave here tonight committed to partnering with AIDS Project Los Angeles or any other AIDS service organization. AIDS has been with us for more than 13 years and has already claimed the lives of 250,000 people in this country. Sometimes in our grief, we wonder if there's really anything that one person can make a difference. I'm here to tell you, you can make a difference. Yes, we need your money desperately, but we also need you. We could not accomplish all we do without committed volunteers. There is so much to be done, and volunteers' opportunities come in every imaginable shape and form. Each of us has something to offer. Each of you can personally make a difference in people's lives, and there's no greater reward. Now I want to introduce you my partner in this fight. We share a vision for the agency and for AIDS services in Los Angeles and are committed to the fulfillment of that vision. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to present the chair of the Volunteer Board of Directors of AIDS Project Los Angeles, Mr. Dana Miller.
Thanks, Jimmy. And thank you all for being here tonight. By digging deep and coming here, you've renewed yourself as a member of the AIDS Project Los Angeles family. It's a family of over 4,400 clients, 2,000 volunteers, 27 volunteer board members, and you guys. Tonight we honor 3 incredibly deserving individuals, each in their own way: Elton John, Tom Hanks, and Ron Meyer. Each of these guys have contributed to the quality of life of men, women, and children living with HIV and AIDS. Both publicly and privately, they've each made an awesome commitment to life, and I thank them for doing this tonight. You guys are about to see an amazing show. This will blow you away. It's a production that was conceived and is produced by a true gentleman, and I gotta tell you, in my opinion, he's one of the truly great poets of the 20th century. As the co-producer of last year's event, I know what a daunting task this is. On behalf of the entire AIDS Project Los Angeles family, I want to thank Bernie Taupin for once again contributing his genius to Commitment to Life. From Randy Johnson to Diane Connors, Benita Carroll to Richard Bondroff, there are literally hundreds of loving, talented, committed people who really give up 3 months of their lives to bring us this show. And it's important that we give them the tribute and the thanks they deserve. Thank you all. Something that frankly kept me up awake for the past month is that if we had sold every ticket here tonight at face value, we would have grossed $1.9 million. The reason we have raised $3.5 million tonight is almost entirely due to the fundraising efforts of 7 of the most important men in the world of business today. Their commitment to the people of Los Angeles who are infected and impacted by HIV and AIDS is nothing short of spectacular. They have never told me no. They are always there. And both as a group and as individuals, they are the epitome of compassion. The difference between $1.9 million and $3.5 million is due to the ability of these guys to raise both awareness and to raise cash. Please join me in thanking tonight's event chairman, Barry Diller, David Geffen, Jeffrey Katzenberg, Alon Levy, Michael Ovitz, Fred Rosen, and Al Teller. Thank you, gentlemen. I come to you all tonight with a call to arms. Already, over 50,000 Californians have died of AIDS, and it's estimated that over 150,000 Californians are currently infected with HIV. To give us some perspective, that's larger than the populations of Santa Monica, Pasadena, or Inglewood. And today in America, AIDS is now the #1 cause of death for people between the ages of 25 and 44. Right now, there's an issue that, gone unchecked, could dramatically impact people living with AIDS, those infected with HIV, and people at risk all across America. This potential impact could be nothing short of disastrous, and it's now that we must formulate our game plan. What I'm talking about is the threat of dollars reduced or even the total elimination of the Ryan White Care Act. Now, as most of you know, the Ryan White Care Act is the government program born out of the courage and determination of one of the most visible people ever to die of AIDS-related causes. Ryan White dollars are used to provide care and service to people with AIDS. And every year, with the help of the influential friends on the Beltway we've always had, we've seen that allocation increase as the need increased. But guess what? That was yesterday. Last November, our government took a dramatic turn to the right. We are now openly and disdainfully being called the counterculture. A leader has described homosexuality as similar to alcoholism, and a gentleman who not so long ago called homosexuality a perversion during formal hearings on aid fundraising has now ascended to one of the most important positions in America. Many of our elected friends have lost their committee chairmanships, and key committee staffers who supported us are frankly out of work. Many of our movement's leaders and public policy organizations have seen their influence wane, and it's frighteningly clear that we made a big mistake. All along, we should have treated AIDS as a bipartisan problem and at least attempted to enlist Republicans in our fight. Recent talk of worthwhile and necessary increased funding for other diseases is absolutely right on, but this cannot become a dialing for dollars disease derby, and certainly not at the expense of those battling AIDS. You know, because of the diversity of our community, we seem sometimes to have a rough time with consensus. Well, folks, this is the one we must come together on. We must organize right now to protect the Ryan White Care Act dollars. Please understand how important this is. Funding last year was over $32 million right here in LA County alone. And listen, this is not a selfish plea. AIDS Project Los Angeles is the second largest service provider to people with AIDS, yet we received less than $800,000 of that $32 million. That means $31.2 million was available to all the other great AIDS service providers here in LA County. Now just imagine, if you can, just imagine the impact to this community if $32 million one day just disappeared. Food gone, clothing gone, shelter gone, medicine, medical care gone. These are essentials. This is quality of life in jeopardy we're faced with. Now is the time for the media to make the masses aware. Once again, it's time for our influential entertainers, those who've made such a difference in the past, to go up to Washington and help speak our case. Now is the time for all the wonderful AIDS service providers all across America to once and for all truly work together. But most importantly, now is the time for all of us to make it clear to our elected officials that the Ryan White Care Act must be reauthorized. Although we tried valiantly before the end of the Congress, it never reached a floor vote. I'd like to take just a second to introduce you to a very special guest. Here tonight, please join me in welcoming Ryan's sister, Andrea White's here. Please make her feel welcome. Folks, please get involved in this one. Write them, call them. The AIDS Project Los Angeles Public Policy Department can give you the numbers and the addresses. None of us want to wake up next month or again next fall and discover casualties up, infections up, and funding down. We must all work to ensure that the Ryan White CARE Act dollars are reauthorized. Thank you for your effort. Thank you. Right now, it's a real pleasure to introduce to you my friend and my mentor. For the past 2 years, he served as the board chair of AIDS Project Los Angeles. And during that time, I watched him give of his time, his money, but I'm telling you, most importantly, his heart. He's a dad. He makes movies now and then. And he is my hetero hero. In the spirit of collaboration that Jimmy spoke about earlier, here to present our first Hand in Hand award, please welcome Steve Tisch. Give him hell, Bubba.
Thank you, Dana. Just over 2 years ago, when I became board chair of AIDS Project Los Angeles, I had a number of goals. And perhaps the most important was to reach out to other AIDS service organizations so we could battle this crisis together. AIDS is not a competitive sport. Our resources are far too few, and our task is far too large to waste time and energy fighting each other and duplicating efforts and services. Even though I am no longer board chair, I vow to continue the momentum of our cooperation with other AIDS organizations. And in that spirit, I have endowed the Hand in Hand Award, an annual gift of $10,000 that will go to a Los Angeles AIDS organization. The Pediatric AIDS Foundation has put an emotional and a powerful face on this terrible epidemic. It is the faces of the children who are devastated by this virus. It is the faces of the dozens of celebrities, politicians, and others in the public eye who have rallied to support this cause, and the face of my friend, Elizabeth Glaser. And as you know, it was Elizabeth who was the catalyst for all of this extraordinary work. So in the spirit of cooperation and community, I present AIDS Project Los Angeles' first Hand in Hand Award to the Pediatric AIDS Foundation. Please join me in welcoming the co-founders of the Pediatric AIDS Foundation, Susan Zegan and Susan DeLaurentis, and joining them tonight, my friend, Mr. Paul Michael Glaser.
It's difficult to stand here tonight without Elizabeth at our side. I'm sure everyone here understands the magnitude of that loss and the challenge that we face. We applaud AIDS Project Los Angeles for establishing the Hand in Hand Award, and we're proud that the board has chosen the Pediatric AIDS Foundation as the first organization to receive this honor. APLA, under the visionary leadership of Steve Tisch, has shown the community the importance of reaching out and the benefits of working hand in hand. We know in our own individual lives, as well as at the Pediatric AIDS Foundation, the significance of working together. Now we must continue to embrace each other as partners in this struggle.
Unfortunately, this struggle grows increasingly difficult, particularly in our nation's capital. We are hearing about a new attitude spreading in Washington, that there is too much money being spent on AIDS. This attitude is almost as destructive as the virus itself. Not only is it going to be hard for us to keep existing programs going, our biggest challenge will be to combat this way of thinking. Now more than ever, we must be strong, we must overcome our obstacles, we must unite, we must work hand in hand. It starts in our own community here in Los Angeles, but it goes far beyond that. It is about each of us in this struggle, all over the country, talking to one another, strategizing together, sharing resources. Now more than ever, we must strive for a unified voice that will be powerful because we speak as one. This is our commitment to life.
Thank you for this welcome. And thank you, Steve. This is our first public appearance without Elizabeth. I usually get to sit out there and watch and marvel at this extraordinary woman, at all she managed to do and the way that she did it. And along with Susan and Susie, this amazing organization that they've built. Elizabeth is no longer here to teach us, lead us, badger us, plead us, or cajole us. She has joined the many others whom we honor that have gone before. And yet, though she's no longer here, we can still feel her. She's all about us. Within us, without us, she's everywhere. And in that feeling of her, we get to touch that place in ourselves that not only knows love and loss and fear and grief. In that place, we also get to honor that which we loved and admired most in her and that which we love and admire most in ourselves. Our ability as human beings to choose in the face of our fear and mortality, to choose to learn, to honor the innocence that is in all of us, to honor the power of love, to honor and to have compassion, and always persevere, never to give up. Elizabeth found herself on an awesome journey. She engaged that journey with an integrity and a will to learn that brought out the best in all of us. She took us on her journey, and now we will continue that journey together, with her, with each other. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Michael Douglas. Thank you. There's a rare and unusual phenomenon that occurs every 37 years in Los Angeles. It's not an earthquake, sunspots, or even a comet. It's something far more elusive and equally powerful, because every 37 years, Ron Meyer gets up in front of an audience and he speaks. Now, I'm confident that a number of you were there the last time this happened at Ron's bar mitzvah, and you remember how beautifully he performed. In fact, many of us are already making plans for his next public appearance in the year 2032. But until then, let's focus on tonight for a moment. Ron and I have had a friendship and a professional association that spans more than 25 years. We met on the streets of San Francisco when we both were starting out. And I have to confess, I had never met a man who wore his pants so high in my entire life. I mean, Ron's belt used to go around his shoulders. But seriously, what's so impressive about Ron is not what he's achieved, but how far he's come. He's a high school dropout, a former Marine, basically a kid from the streets, and now Ron has become one of the most powerful and the most popular agent in the history of Hollywood. Now, this is the ultimate irony, because as eager as Ron is to throw others in front of a crowd or a camera, Ron is happy to stand on the sidelines and acknowledge everyone's contributions but his own. In a business where taking credit is an art form, no one has ever achieved such heights, given so much, and taken credit for so little as Ron Meyer. So tonight, we're going to give Ron Meyer credit. We're going to honor the dignity and compassion of a humble man with a great heart and present him with a Commitment to Life award. And it's not something he asked for. It's something he earned by making AIDS Project Los Angeles his most important cause. His service as a member of the board of directors, as an energetic and successful fundraiser, and as a co-chair of this event in past years have been the manifestations of his commitment. His work shows itself in the dignity that Ron and AIDS Project Los Angeles have given people with AIDS. And for that, Ron, we honor you. So it's with great pride and a whole lot of love that I present my dear friend, Ron Meyer, with the Commitment to Life award. I'm proud of you.
Thank you, Michael. 5 years ago, I was asked to co-chair Commitment to Life. I said yes because a number of my friends were involved, and I knew AIDS Project Los Angeles was a worthwhile organization. But like many of you, I didn't know how truly essential they were. I took a tour of APLA so I could learn more, and what I saw overwhelmed me in a way I still find hard to describe. I wish I could take those of you who have never been down the hill to APLA so you could see firsthand what the money you donate accomplishes and why supporting this organization is so important. You guarantee that there is someone to answer the 1,000 hotline calls a week from people desperate for information. Your support of AIDS Project Los Angeles provides groceries to 1,200 people each month. You provide dental care to people with AIDS. You provide home health care, and you provide affordable housing. Your gift educates people about AIDS. You provide legal services for people at risk of losing their homes, at risk of losing their jobs, and at risk of losing their insurance benefits. You support the Buddy program. This program ensures that people with HIV and AIDS don't have to be alone. The people who work and volunteer at APLA are true heroes. They remind us that even in the face of the horrors of this disease, there are people that can and do make a difference. We need the APLAs of the world. For one simple reason, that sadly, this battle is far from over. Every day, almost 6,000 men, women, and children are infected with HIV. That's one person every 15 seconds. We must not fail our friends. We must not fail our families. We must not fail these people, and we must not fail ourselves. I have 3 young daughters. I worry about what they will think about society's response to this tragedy. In 1770, Edmund Burke said, "The only thing necessary for evil to win is for the good to do nothing." The same is true today. The only thing necessary for AIDS and HIV to win is for us not to do everything we can to stop it. AIDS Project Los Angeles is about community. It's about lifting the spirit. It's about hope. It's about dignity. And it's about love. I'm proud to share this honor with Tom Hanks and Elton John and all the other Commitment to Life honorees before us, as well as the legacy of my friend Elizabeth Glaser. Thank you for being here tonight and supporting this extraordinary organization.